So, hello. This is an announcement that I will be starting a synthesizer course, software synthesizer course, shortly. So, finally, the time has come for me to start teaching synthesis. So, I'm going to give an overview of this course. So, it's going to be 5 days. It's going to be a 5-day course, and you are going to be introduced to 5 synthesis rabbit holes. Each one of these is a rabbit hole, which means each one of these fully warrants their own 5-day course, or actually more. So I'm thinking of making a series, that is, each of these synthesis dimensions will have their own course. But this course is it's kind of like an overview. So say you are starting out with sound synthesis and you have a laptop and you are on the fence as to whether you should buy a costly synthesizer or should you use your laptop and do something virtual. So you might be having a software versus hardware analysis paralysis, or you might be having GAS, which is gear acquisition syndrome. Basically this involves a lot of googling and most musicians are afflicted with something of this sort. You just have to buy the new vector synthesis synthesizer, or you have to buy some Moog guitar, anything that comes up on the market. Hopefully this course will reduce your gas. So 1 day for each. 1 day for subtractive, 1 day for sample based, 1 day for wavetable, and 1 day for additive. All with processing. Now, processing, in case you are unaware, this is processing. It's a software environment. They do a fantastic job of keeping programming sort of easy, because you see it can get really complex if you start with C++ or so if you have heard of these, forgive this slow speed of writing. I have this overlay software doesn't take mouse clicks. I have to press a key combination for me to write on this. So if you use something like this, I'm sure you must have heard of at least one of these. It's a whole new syntax. Each one of these softwares are fully capable of at least like some 20 forms of synthesis, Uh, Eventually, you will have to end up learning at least one of these. But I designed the course to be friendly for people who are landing here for the first time, and like say you pick up a book on any of these, you are going to be swamped with tons of information. Like, how can I just do something? How can I just tinker and make some interesting sounds? That was the inspiration behind this course. Uh, Hence the choice processing. If you look at processing, oh, that's interesting. So the overlay gets stuck. So if you look at the examples, you will find plenty of visual examples. People who learn creative coding, they usually start with visual stuff, and yeah, there are like courses and books filled with visual design, generative art. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to have a screen where you can easily draw stuff, and I also wanted to have a somewhat toy-like interface. I don't want it to be too serious, hence processing. So this is what the course is going to do, and we're going to make sounds. Okay? We're going to try and make at least few of these, some kind of theremin, some kind of synth, some kind of sequencer, because we need sequencers, right? And we will not get into MIDI, so there will be another course for MIDI. There's plenty of stuff on MIDI, but I will also be making a course on MIDI, wherein I will be connecting some of my synthesizers, controllers to processing. It's again going to be on processing. Processing is fabulous. Okay? You can do everything in processing. So for now we won't have MIDI, but we will build at least a couple of synthesizers using at least a couple of these methods. And I'm going to be announcing more courses in a similar series. This is going to be 5 days, and this is going to be, how do I write it? Okay, I'm going to write this here. Yeah, it's going to be priced at $25.20. So it's going to be 5 days. 99% it's going to be Monday to Friday, because the weekend is going to be you playing with synthesizers. We can't have synth course on weekends. So it's going to be 1 hour each day, Monday to Friday, 1 hour per day. Stay tuned for the timings. I'm going to announce the timings, and by the time you see this video, enrollment options will be available. You can message me on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm going to give you my contact, and you can ask questions. I'm going to have a FAQ video also. Alright, pause. Okay, so this is the FAQ video about this course. So the course is 5-day synth crash course processing, and these are a few questions. Hang on a second, yeah, now you can see my screen. So why processing? I wanted something simple, not too serious, and something that's relatively widespread and well known. And I didn't want something which is a programming language from scratch, like C++ or Java or Python. Scratch usually is harder because there's a programming load, there's a complexity from the programming side, which is also going to be here, but here it is, the learning curve is going to be less steep, lot less steeper. We are going to see functions, and also there's a lot of reasons why I chose processing. I started doing generative art with processing many years back, and there's a very nice community around it. So why processing? Also, another reason, I did not want it to be a production level software. I did not want it to be, because I want the skills that you take away from this to be translatable. So something where you think of a concept, run it, make a prototype, and then decide how you feel about it. So great for prototyping. Processing is really great for prototyping. Plus, if you take something like Super Collider and you want to draw something on the screen, now it's going to get tricky. You have to look at quarks, you have to look at, in C sound, you have to do a whole host of things. You have to look at OSC, signaling. Too much for a simple synthesis course. I just want to draw a waveform. How do you do that with? So on the other spectrum, there's softwares like Sonic Pi, great software for live coding. But then again, you want to draw something on the screen. Now you don't have a screen. So that's why processing. Also, if you search synthesis courses on processing, there's hardly any course. Opportunity for niche exploration. There was a book called Sonifying Processing with Beads, and there's a Beads project. It's still there. I feel it's still available as a plugin in processing, but we are going to use the sound library of processing. Processing 4 onwards, there's a sound library. It's called just sound. I'm going to show you how do you install it. It's nothing. Once you install processing, it's just a module that's available. Also, do not underestimate the power of this synthesis library, because it's actually JSyn. More on that in the course. We won't be programming JSyn because that's like going into Java in earnest. We're going to stick to processing's interface on JSyn. It's a very small wrapper on the JSyn modular synthesis library. So it's a great piece of software by Phil Berg. So that's why processing. Yeah, so should I know Java already? If you know Java already, then we can dive into JSON directly. But no, we don't want to. I don't want to put that up front. If you stick around with processing, you will indirectly learn Java. But processing is a very nice, you know, if people have done Arduino, so first I had done embedded Arduino before, and when I first installed processing, I was mystified at the similarity between the interface. You know, Arduino has I don't think I have let me just Google that. So you see the similarity between Arduino and the processing ID. That's because Arduino actually used a fork of the processing ID long before it was famous. I think they modified this, and at some point they shared the same code base. So processing has actually been around for a while, 2001 or 2002. Yeah, I think. So should I know Java already? No. Should I? There's also a related question. Should I know music already? Again, no. Sound synthesis. The only prerequisite is that you should be computer literate. You should know how to install software, and you should have played with some kind of synthesizer before. Because if not, you'll start seeing a lot of new terms. Again, it doesn't matter if you're sharp enough, you'll get it. But you see, it's a synth crash course. It's a soft synth crash course. So we're going to learn this stuff. You just need to know how to pay attention. I'm going to show you how. You're going to write code, but I'm going to make sure it's not. Not going to use object oriented. I'm not going to use classes. I'm not going to teach classes. We are going to see functions and arrays. That's about it. Not going to do much of programming. We're not going to learn much of core programming. Okay, what about Mac Windows? Processing is available for all environments, Linux, Mac and Windows. So if you go to download, yeah, it'll auto detect your system. It's showing Linux for me because I'm on Ubuntu system. So it's there for it's there even for Raspberry Pi. But yeah, if you want to try out processing on Raspberry Pi, it's very slow. But it's available, it's possible you could do synthesis on Raspberry Pi using processing. So it's great. Is this like VCB Rack? You see, VCB Rack doesn't have a programming. Of course, it has an API, but you don't need to write code. You just drag and drop. It's a node-based virtual modular synth, but we will be writing code. We will be writing code in the processing IDE. It will look like this. This is like this is some project. It's this notebook is built using processing, so we won't be writing classes and stuff, at least not in this course. but yeah, it'll look like this. How much is it? 2,520 rupees. 2520 or 2,520 rupees only. It's going to be 1 hour for 5 days, so 5 hours. Yeah. What about MIDI? No. No MIDI in this course. It's too short a duration to have MIDI. MIDI is easily going to take like 2 or 3 days. So we're going to have a small course, and I'm going to announce this probably in one of the courses of the series. You'll have MIDI, and MIDI will be paired with also probably OSC and stuff. Okay, so we will not have MIDI in this course. Online or offline? This course is online. Most likely it will be Zoom. It'll be a Zoom class. It's online, so within India. So if you have, if you stay anywhere within, basically wherever you can do UPI. So I was looking at options for PayPal and Stripe, but I haven't set it up yet. So if you have UPI, then you're good. Can I plug my synth into processing? So again, refer to this what about MIDI question. MIDI OSC will be handled later. Okay. Yeah, if more questions come up, I'll update this. For now, that's it.